Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing amazing. Welcome to my channel Best Math. In this video, we will start with the part 2, the writing part for the end of term 3 exam, and this is for the grade 12 advance. We start with the question 16. It is to compute the area of a region using definite integration. Definite integration means integrals with limits. You will have a and b limits, lower and upper limit with y as a variable of x. Now this is very important, y as a variable. When this means y as a variable, that means this changes or we are deriving with respect to y or the function of y. We will look into the details and we will understand it better. Now area between the curves, the formula is given over here like this. But y as the variable makes a lot of difference because we come to know here there must be dy only. It can't be dx, integral with respect to x. No, because they told y as a variable. This means, now let me just write an equation. Let me just make this clear. So y is equal to say 2x squared plus 3. Here this is an equation, right? Here you can see x is given. Now this is a function of x. Y is equal to f of x, where x is changing. Okay, so now simple equation, another one with respect to x. That means f of x is 2x. Now, how would you find the value of y? It is by inputting the value of x, right? Imagine x is equal to 10. So it will be 2 times 10, 20. That is the y. So x is variable, y is dependent variable from x value. In the sense, whatever y value is dependent on x. That's what it means. Now, if I write terms like this, x is equal to 3y. Now here, y is the independent variable. You can have any values of y. Say, imagine we'll start with 10 again. So x is equal to 3 times 10. Y is 10, that means 30. Now this is dependent on y. Now this is how we must write our equations and use it in the formula. Why? Because we have dy over here. So all these, over here the functions must be with respect to y. In the sense it should be like y squared plus 2y or y minus 3, something like this. We can't write x squared or anything. It must be in these terms. So this is already told. So no matter what the values are given, you can easily get this form. And you should also remember the limits are there, right? Here it's written as CD. You can write it as AB. It's fine. But it's along the y-axis, this y-axis. Why? Because it's with respect to y, right? That's it. So now what basically it means is you want to find this area, isn't it? So what you're doing is you're cutting this, the cross sections. So when your y is equal to x plus 3, just for an example, this function gives you the x values, okay? You're cutting this into lots of subsections, and integration means what? You're adding them all up till way to where? It goes till infinity, but we want only till year to year. So say C to D. So that is how we find the area. That is area between the curves. That's the formula. Now we will see a problem and you'll understand how easy it is. Here, this is the question. This is it you're going to get. Nothing else. Now you do not need to draw accurate graphs. Just basic graphs are enough. Now first thing, find the area bounded by the graphs y is equal to x squared, y is equal to 2 minus x, and y is equal to 0. What I personally prefer is the equations be like this itself. Though we are doing it as function of y, later on we will change it. But for now, let's leave them like this. Why? Because it helps you in calculations. I will show you now. Sorry, graphing. Main thing is graphing. This helps a lot in graphing. Say for example, this is basically square root y is equal to x. Okay? X is equal to square root y. Is this easier to graph or y is equal to x squared? Which is easier to graph? I would choose this all the time if I have to compare with this one. So that is why it's better to get these equations. Even if there are not like this, you can convert like this, graph it, and then use such equations in the formula to solve it out. The step 1 to solve this problem is graphing. You do not need to graph it accurately, just basic graphing is enough. Let me take x and y coordinate, x over here and y. Y is the vertical coordinate, x is the horizontal. Y equals x squared. What exactly is this? It's a parabola. So, it's not accurate. It should touch the 0. So this is a basic graph of parabola. This is y equals x squared. And then we have y is equal to 2 minus x. This is equivalent to minus x plus 2. Why I have written like this is in the slope intercept form. You can see x is having negative sign. That means it's a downward slope. But this plus 2 is the intercept. Plus 2 is the y-intercept. Whichever number is next to the slope is the intercept. That means it cuts along y-axis at that point. And since it's just minus x, it'll be a straight line. It'll be a 45-degree line passing through 2 here. And y equals 0. Now here, before I graph this, students tend to get confused over here. What they think is, okay, it's y is equal to 0, so I will draw a straight line. But no, that is x equals 0. What I personally use is, instead of directly writing y equals 0, I just assume y is equal to, say, 3. What does this mean? Where y is 3, I have to draw a straight line and on the y-axis, because all the y values must be 3. So all y values must be 3 means that's the line. So that is what I do. So you can just remember that for your easy understanding. But now y is equal to 0 means y is 0 over here. This is 1, 2. So I have to draw a straight line at y is 0. So now you can see there's an enclosed boundary. There's a boundary enclosed and the area within that. So this is the area, right? That is what I need to solve for. I need to find that area. So let's write the curves. One is this graph. That is what? X squared. So another one is over here. This downward slope. That is minus x plus 2, or you can write 2 minus x. And lastly, what do we have is this one, y is equal to 0. Now here, what do we need? The formula. Let's write the formula in brief. That is limits. I'm just writing a to b, that is vertical limits. Right function, right minus right of y, okay, with respect to y we are dealing, minus left with respect to y. This is the function dy. This formula does not change. Just write this. You can write your own formula, but this is always the same one. Now here in this formula, how exactly would you write? Would you just write this 2 minus x? No, we need to rearrange it and write it. Okay, we will come to that in a minute. But before that, let's look into the limits. What is the limit? Or what are the limits? There are two limits. So it's along the y-axis, it's dy. So it's from here to wherever this point. But I'm not sure where that point exactly is. It looks like 1, but is it exactly sure? No, how do we do that is, we need to see which are the two equations that touch over here. That's x squared and 2 minus x, right? Y is equal to x squared and y is equal to 2 minus x. Now if I equate it like x squared is equal to 2 minus x, make y equal y and solve it, you will get the touching point, but you will get the x value. See, if you solve this x values you get, right, you will get where it touches along the x-axis. But that is not what we want. We want where it touches along the y-axis, isn't it? So what you need to do is, these equations are there, right? Rearrange them with respect to y. That means you should have x at one side and y over here at the right side. So what do I need to do is, I'll just rearrange them. X squared is equal to y. Here I'll bring this x, minus becomes plus, x is equal to 2 minus y. But here I need to take square root on both the sides. So that square root cancels, it's x is equal to root y. And x is equal to 2 minus y. So now when I equate these both, I'm going to get the y value of it. See, what I need to do is, I just have to equate x is equal to x, that is root y is equal to 2 minus y. Now when you solve it up, you get all the y values where it intersects. Now, obviously, if you look at this, this goes on further. It touches somewhere else also. It intersects again somewhere up. But we need only this value. Okay. So what you can do is you can square on both the sides and solve it up, or directly put this in the calculator as well. It's fine. But what I would highly suggest you is, because this method, whichever I'm going to tell, can be used any other problem. So I would tell you the squaring part. Let's write over here the same thing. Square root y is equal to 2 minus y, right? Since I know they're going to touch at 2 points, I'll have two y values. I'll square them. It'll be y, square on both the sides. Y is equal to, over here when you square, what's going to happen? It's going to be a squared minus 2ab and plus b squared. That is a minus b the whole square formula. Whatever is the first term, square it up, minus 2 times these two terms, 2 times 2 and y, plus the second term square. And then y is equal to, over here it's 4 minus 4y plus y squared. Now take everything to one side. I'll bring this y to the other side and write it. 0 is equal to y squared. This becomes minus, and again minus y, it will be minus 4 minus y, it will be plus 5, sorry, minus 5y, minus 5y, and lastly plus 4. This is the quadratic form. And now when you put this in the calculator, I'll show you right now. Let's solve it up. It's by mod 5 and quadratic is by 3. And now the coefficients are 1, minus 5 and 4. I'm going to get two values. One is 4, okay? And one more is 1. So I get y is equal to 4 and 1. Now here I can easily understand the first one. This one is at 1 because it's corresponding towards 1, and the upper value is 4. This is beyond the limit. I don't need that. Only 1 is enough. So the limit over here from the base 0, that is the lower limit, and 1 is the upper limit. So here integral, it will be 0 lower limit till 1. Now all these, I'm just doing these cross sections from 0 to 1. We are making sections and we are adding up to find the area. What is the right side equation? It's 2 minus x, but we cannot put 2 minus x. We need to put it in terms of y. This is the equation over here. It is 2 minus y minus, what is the left equation? Right minus left, isn't it? Left is root y. Now this dx, this is it. So I'll just put this in the calculator here. To use definite integral, you have to use this symbol here, definite integral symbol. Type it out. You can use brackets for the first term. It is 2 minus, you can't put y as the variable, just put x itself, but you should understand it's y. Minus square root x, variable x is by alpha, and the closing bracket symbol. Now here you can put 0 until 1, and that's the answer. What's the answer here? Might take a few seconds, and it's 0.833. That's the final answer. So that will be the area, that is 0.833 units squared. Because we don't know what exactly is the unit, just write unit to the power 2. So that would be the final answer. Now I'll show you the detailed way to write over here would be sketching the graph. See, our graphs were not accurate enough, okay, but still it'll give you the complete final answer. See, it's similar to it, but any rough graph is okay. That's more than enough. And then we're going to rearrange these equations and write over here, and then to find the point of intersection, just solve both of them together. Now here it's squared up, and then the equated, solved it up over here. This is the answers. And then what you do is substitute the values in the formula. Now the right equation is 2 minus y minus the left equation is root of y. The answer is 0.83 units squared. This is how easily you can solve this up. Please do try the other problems by yourselves. And if you understood the first question thoroughly, you can just skip do it by yourself, skip it off, move to the next topic. But I'm going to solve all the problems here now. Here you can see the area bounded by the graphs. X is equal to y squared and x is equal to 2 minus y squared. Now, if you know the graphs directly like this, I will tell you some of the pointers. You can make it changing this to the other side, y is equal to square root x, but this becomes more complicated. But since it's quadratic, I will tell you. X is equal to y squared means what exactly is? It's a parabola. If it was y is equal to x squared, we do it upwards. Y is equal to minus x squared is downwards like this. But if we have yx is equal to y square, positive is the right side, and x is equal to y square, negative would be left side. These are the things you should know about this parabola. So now if you know that, then we can easily solve it up. How? Plus is there, right? It'll be something like this. Here it's minus 2, that's fine. It'll be something, since it's 2, it'll be moving 2 to the right. This point will be at 2, this is at 0. That's it. But even if you don't understand that, you will know graph something like this. Now, what are the intersecting points? That's fine. Just equate them both and you will solve it. We will solve it in a minute. But which is the right equation now? The right side here, it should be 2 minus y squared. Left side is y squared. Let's find the points of intersection. We need both the points now. Graphing is done. So now make x is equal to x, that is y squared is equal to 2 minus y squared. Bring it inside, it will be y squared plus y squared is equal to 2. Or 2y squared is equal to 2. Divide both the sides by 2, you're going to get y squared as 1. You can put this as mod phi 3 and solve it. But it's so simple that it's y squared equals 1 means take square root on both the sides. Y is equal to plus or minus 1. This is the answer. So the limits are a will be minus 1, b will be plus 1. This point over here is minus 1, plus 1 for y. Okay, so it's almost done now. Integral, right function. I'm not going to write the formula, I'll directly do it. It's 2 minus y squared minus left function is just y squared dy. Remember the formula and the limits are minus 1 to 1. Now put this in the calculator, you should directly get the answer. So please do try it by yourself in the calculator now. Let's look into the answer. It's just like this, 2 minus y squared minus y squared minus 1 to 1, and that would be your answer. So this is how we solve these. And here we have again similar problems. Now this time the equations are given as y equals x. So when we convert them, this is going to be x is equal to y. But what happens over here is, it'll be x is equal to 2 minus y, and over here it'll be, sorry, we just now did this, example problem. So it's the same thing. Let me just show you. Yeah. My apologies. We had done similar problem, but over there it was y squared. Over here it is x is equal to y. So the difference is it's a linear line, and a flat line over here. So this is the bounded region. Same like what we did just a while ago. We are going to follow the same thing. Y is equal to 0. So what you do is you rearrange this, right? How would you find the point of intersection? Just solve these up. Y is equal to 2 minus y, take it to the other side, it will be 2y, because it will be plus y plus y is 2y equals 2, y is equal to 1. So we know there is only one point of intersection and it's at 1. So limit is 0 to 1. What is the right side function? It's 2 minus y minus y dy. Put this in the calculator, you're going to get the answer. Let's do this. I've typed everything in the calculator as it is and just make it equal to 0. So the answer must be 1. Let's look over here. Yes, the answer is 1. Now here they have used the limit formula by integration. That's also fine. Or if you write all the details and just do it in the calculator, it's also fine. So this is the formula. Getting the formula is most important. Now over here they have just simplified, multiplying this minus over here, minus and minus will be 2 minus 2y, and limits are written. They have integrated. Integration of 2 is 2y minus 2y squared. 2 y square by 2 and 2 cancel, so we get y square. This can be done. But it's very important to get the graph and the changing of the equations and then putting the formula and then solving it out. Now, since it's all linear over here, straight lines, you can also use area of a triangle. That's half base into height. Base is how much? 0 to 2, that's 2. Height is 1 and half is the constant in the formula, so you get 1 itself. Similarly, please do try these. The worked out solutions are there. You need to draw rough sketches of graphs and then you need to convert. See now, y is equal to x. What does this mean? It's a 45-degree line. Then y is equal to 2. It's a straight line at y equals 2. Y is equal to 6 minus x. So wherever 6 is there, this is 2. So 6 is above. We draw a line downwards. So this is x minus 6 minus x. And y is equal to 0. So whatever is formed, that is a trapezoid over here. Now I'll just show you. What you can do is, you can understand from here, if this is 6, high up above, and then over here you have 45-degree line, that will be something like this. But now here this touching point is above. You can easily find it by intersection, but there is another thing. Y is equal to how much? Y is equal to x. Y is equal to 2. So you need to cut this, and then y is equal to 0. So this is the thing. Here the limits are very easy. Why? Because we know the base is at 0, y is equal to 0, and this is at 2. So the limits are 0 to 2. So we don't need to solve the intersection at all. From the figure itself, you can get 0 to 2. Substitute, solve it up. This is how we do it. Now if you're using integration formula, integrals formula, you can easily solve it up like this. Use the power rule. 6y, 2y square by 2, that 2 cancels, it will be y square, and then upper limit first, it will be 6 times 2 minus 2 square minus the lower limit 6 times 0 minus 0 square. So that would be the answer. And since it's all linear lines, again, yes, you can use the area of a trapezoid. It's half. Now this is the upper base, lower base, AB multiplied by A plus B multiplied by the height. And that's the answer. Similarly, please do try these problems. Over here, it's a little bit touch and go, but you can see the right equation function would be this line. And then the left is the left side one. So here, this is the 3y and left side is 2 plus y squared. Always remember to convert. If now here it's given as x is equal to 2 plus y squared easily, but otherwise if it was given as y squared something, convert it to x is equal to and then use it in the formula. For this 16th question, formula will be the same. It's all with respect to y as variable x. So always remember it will be dy over here. And this is how we solve it up. And over here we have the last problem. Again, it's a simple parabola, but it's x is equal to y squared. Since it's positive, it will open up right side and x is equal to 4. So over here. Now what you need to do is you need to equate them both and find the limits. So it will be y squared is equal to 4. Y is equal to square root 4. Y is equal to plus or minus 2. So this is minus 2. This will be plus 2. So integral minus 2 to plus 2. And what happens? The right side is 4 minus left side equation is y squared. That's it. Put in the calculator. You're going to get the answer. Definite integral solving. That is the end of this topic. If you have any questions, any doubts, any clarifications, do post them in the comments. I would also highly encourage, if you see any doubts by any other students, try to answer it by yourself as well. I sometimes see in some videos, students do clarify other students' problems. That's a great thing. I would try my best to get back to you on the comments, but if you can, please do answer to others' doubts and questions.